Coming up tonight on YCN News, former New York Governor George Pataki came to New Hampshire today, testing the state's first in the nation presidential primary waters. And accidents are still happening on the roadways. For more news, sports, and weather, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, February 3rd. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. Former New York Governor George Pataki came to New Hampshire today, testing the state's first in the nation presidential primary waters. Village Pizza in Newport was on his travel route. Pataki is a Republican. The exact date of the state's primary remains unknown. Almost a dozen local residents awaited his arrival, along with local and New York-based reporters. Pataki served 3 consecutive terms as New York's governor, beginning in 1995 and ending in 2006. Today he answered questions about the nation's economy, healthcare policy, and America's national security needs, including the country's military and its global role.
You know, it's just, first of all, you don't tell your enemy what you're going to do, and that's one of many failings that President Obama has said. And you need to have a plan, and he has said it. We have no plan. We have no strategy. You have to have one. And the fact is, right now, there are about 3,000 American boots on the ground in Iraq helping to deal with ISIS. But what I believe we should do is use whatever force is necessary to deny them training bases, recruitment centers, planning centers where they could attack us again. I don't believe we should send over a massive army. I don't believe we should spend $1 trillion trying to create a democracy. But when they're planning and actively posing a threat to kill us here, we should kill them there first. Whatever it takes in drone strikes, plane strikes, empowering the Kurdish army, the Peshmerga, with more advanced weapons, we need to destroy them. We cannot allow this cancer to sit there and grow and attract Westerners who are going to come back and attack us here.
Pataki also speaks to YCN News about immigration policy and economic strategy. We'll bring you more of our interview with the former governor later this week. Well, as former Governor Pataki made his way throughout New Hampshire, so did motorists over roads piled at the sides with snow. And snow on the roads affecting drivers' abilities to stop quickly as it's winter in New Hampshire and Vermont. Crashes by out-of-control drivers into police cruisers or plow trucks have reached a breaking point yesterday. Vermont Governor Peter Shumlin issued a warning Monday to drivers to slow down after at least 4 accidents involved plow trucks being hit. Keeping at least 1 full car length behind the car or truck in front of you is needed as the region digs out from its latest snowstorm. Meanwhile, along New Hampshire roadways, it's police cruisers that are bearing the brunt of the crashes. This morning, a driver from Henniker, New Hampshire, lost control of her car near exit 14 off I-93 in Concord. The cruiser was parked behind a damaged vehicle, safeguarding it while waiting for a tow truck. 61-year-old Donna Ashley of Henniker lost control of her car as she got off the highway and slid into the back of the parked police cruiser. No injuries were reported. The collision damaged the front end of Ashley's car, resulting in the need for another tow truck services, this time for Ashley's car. The rear bumper of the police cruiser was damaged. It could be driven. Ashley was found to be at fault for the resulting collision, police say, for driving too fast given the road conditions. This is not the first time the trooper's cruiser has been hit by another car while protecting a crash scene. State police continue to urge motorists to use due care and drive slower than the posted speed during bad weather. Turning to public health news now, measles outbreaks in California are taking on a political spin. The disease that was determined to be eliminated by childhood vaccinations in 2000 now back in force. Health experts with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report for January of this year, 102 people from 14 states were reported to have measles. Most of these cases stem from an outbreak at a California amusement park that, according to the CDC, today The Hill, a publication covering all things political from Washington, report that U.S. House Speaker from Ohio, John Boehner, saying all children should be vaccinated against measles. Possible presidential candidates' views differ, however. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky disagrees with Boehner, saying the state does not own children. Parents own the children and can decide if their child should be vaccinated, says Paul. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie says parents should have some choice about this. Today in Newport, New Hampshire, possible candidate George Pataki weighed in, saying he believes all children should be vaccinated as well. In a related story, on January 23rd, the CDC issued a health advisory to notify public health departments and healthcare facilities nationwide about this multi-state outbreak. For all of 2014, per the advisory, 644 cases of measles from 27 states were reported to the CDC data trackers. This is the greatest number of cases since measles elimination was documented in the U.S. back in 2000. After the break, more news from around our region.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. If passenger train service between southern New Hampshire and Massachusetts was beefed up, what would it mean for the region? Well, a lot, says New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan. A solid, modern transportation infrastructure or commuter rail and the train tracks to run them on are crucial to the state's economy and personal success. Hassan made her remarks after a report of the Capital Corridor Rail and Transit Alternatives Analysis. The study looked at bringing commuter rail from Boston to Nashua and Manchester. Now, cost for the service could be $250 million. Ridership would be over 500,000 people per year. YCN News will bring you more of the results of the study later this week. When YCN News returns, River Valley Chronicles' Elizabeth D'Orazio had the chance to sit down and speak with Jen Coombs from the Claremont Community Center. That interview is on the way.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. Matt McDonald is here. Looks like we have a little more snow in the forecast coming up. Let's check that forecast now.
Thanks, Laura. Tonight we'll have a 30% chance of snow showers after 4 a.m. with a low around 6. Wednesday we'll have a 50% chance of snow showers with a high near 27. Wednesday night we'll have another 50% chance of snow showers. Lows may drop to 16. Thursday we may have a 40% chance of more snow with a high near 20. And Thursday night should be partly cloudy with a low around -7. And now let's take a look at our YCN community calendar. Tomorrow in Windsor, Vermont, there will be a community meal at American Legion Hall at 5 p.m. On Thursday, there will be bingo in Claremont at the Claremont Senior Center starting at 4:30 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. On Saturday, Kearsarge travel to Mascoma and Andrew Cash hits this three-pointer to give the Royals an early lead. A short time later, Cash finds Alex Schwartz in the corner for another three-point basket. Trent Nordsey hits James Bromwell, who uses his good positioning to get 2 points and pulls Kearsarge to within 1 point with just over 2 minutes left in the first half. But seconds later, Schwartz hits Devin Duhame, who nails this three for his only basket of the game, and Mascoma would lead 19-18 at halftime. In the third quarter, Kearsarge's Francis Carpenter makes a great pass to Bromwell to keep the Cougars close. Later in the third, Cash drives down the lane for 2 of his team-leading 16 points and extends Mascoma's lead to 10 points. Kearsarge freshman Taylor Matos scores 2 of his 7 points with a strong effort in the post. But down on the other end, Mascoma's big man Walt Hammond powers this shot in for 2 of his 4 fourth-quarter points, and the lead jumped back up to 10 points. With just over 6 minutes left in the game, Nordsey hits a cutting James Bromwell to chip the Mascoma lead to under 10 points. But with just over 4 minutes left in the game, Alex Schwartz hits this big three-point basket, and Mascoma holds on to win 51-41. The Royals improve to 7-3 and visit Stevens on Tuesday, tonight. The Cougars are 4-7 and have a makeup game tonight at Hopkinton.
When YCN News returns, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor. He spoke with Claremont City Councilor Charlene Lovett. That discussion is on the way.
The YCN News continues in a moment.